All right, so let's analyze the monopsony labor market that is depicted here, right? So we have the monopsonistic firms' demand for labor here, which is also the height of this demand for this labor demand curve is also the value of the marginal product of labor, right? So it tells you uh, how much each additional worker you hire produces in terms of uh, profit per worker, right? Um, so that's our demand curve for labor, right? And here's our labor supply curve telling us at different wages how much labor, the quantity of labor that people are willing to supply. And here is the marginal cost of labor, right? So the marginal cost of labor to the firm. Now, in order to find the optimal number of workers for the firm to hire in order for it to maximize its profits, we want to find where the marginal cost of labor is equal to the value of the marginal product of labor, right? At that point, the firm, if it goes beyond that point, the firm will be paying more for labor than what the labor is worth to them. And so it would not want to go beyond that point, right? So that point happens to be here, right? Where marginal cost of labor is equal to the value of the marginal product of labor, right? So here's the value of the marginal product, same as demand, right? They coincide at the same curve. And here's the marginal cost of labor. They cross at this point here. And so we can surmise that the optimal level, the optimal quantity of labor for this firm to hire, for this monopsonistic firm to hire, is 10. 10 workers, 10 hours, whatever it happens to be, whatever the labor is measuring. Let's just say workers, right? So 10 workers. And now what we have to ask is, okay, well, which wage would be optimal for the firm to offer in order to get 10 workers to supply their labor at this firm? So you need to look at the labor supply curve and say, okay, well, we need 10 workers. What is the lowest wage that we can pay workers in order to induce 10 of them to work, right? So if you look at the labor supply curve, that happens to be a wage of 40, right? If the wage is 40, then 10 workers would be willing to supply their labor. And that would actually maximize profits. Again, it would maximize profits for this firm. So this firm would hire 10 workers, and the wage would be 40 in this monopsony, right? And contrast that with what they would do if they were trying to maximize total surplus. If they were doing that, they would actually hire 15 workers, and the wage would be 60, right? So compared to the situation which would happen in a perfectly competitive labor market where total surplus is maximized, we have less workers and they're also working for a lower wage in this monopsony market, right? So again, the optimal amount of labor is 10 units, 10 workers, and the wage for that would happen in this market if the monopsony was trying to maximize its profits would be $40 per worker, right? Okay, and we're done. So thank you for watching.